It's about that time of day again, guys. I want to welcome you back. Welcome you back here. My name is Joseph. Welcome back to our live trade room. It's been a sloppy Thursday morning. As always, we're here with our advanced members and our trial members today. Thursday morning, that felt like a Wednesday, right? We had crude oil inventories that normally come out on Wednesdays that were pushed back till Thursday. We got a 30-year bond auction later on early this afternoon. And we had jobless claims, international trade that kicked us off today at 8:30. I'll tell you, with all the news that we saw today, it was kind of remarkable how sloppy the markets were. Almost as if they were waiting for something, maybe possibly waiting for the 30-year bond auction. We've got, nothing major tomorrow. I don't believe we have anything major tomorrow morning. A lot of times what will happen is if there's major news on a Friday, right, they'll wait for it. We got PPI and consumer sentiment tomorrow, so it shouldn't have been that big of a deal. Had a pretty good day today. 65, 69 ticks out of the market. Not a bad day at all. I think the only reason why we're kind of disappointed with the performance today was because we saw where price wanted to go, but we just, for the life of us, couldn't. Well, me personally, I couldn't. Either the entry trigger didn't show up because the volume was lower, or was in the trade for a period of time and just couldn't hold on to the runner because I wasn't prepared to use a much wider stop. Days like today, with the range-bound markets we saw today, with the sloppy personality we saw today, we had plenty of volatility for the most part. It was just trying to be able to fit our strategy into today's market. We use the term curve fitting, and curve fitting is a good example of a situation where you don't want to go changing your trade management day to day just based on what you're seeing in the market right now. I want to remind myself every morning when I get into this position where I'm thinking, man, I need a wider stop, or I should use a tighter target. That's probably a time when I want to sit on my hands, right? I have specific rules in place. I need the market to fit inside those rules, not the other way around, right? Not the other way around. So today was one of those days where our trade management was a little bit too narrow, it seemed like. The price action just didn't give us those easy clues. You know, here's a really good example right now on crude oil. Here's what we ended up finding on crude today. And I'm going to open up a 21 range chart on crude oil. And this 21 range chart on crude, you can see here, bull channel and a price wedge. Well, before we found that bull channel, it was just the big wedge. So imagine now, this is all we knew. Okay, that's all we knew. So all we had here was the trend line coming down at the top, trend line coming up from the bottom, and here we are at the highs of this big wedge. Okay, so that's where we found ourselves on crude. We were able to get some money out of the short. It was a two-step pattern short. You can see here, goes up, you get the M pound at the highs, and we're going to sell those highs. Clearly, we would have liked to see the price keep going. It did not. It's all right. Bounced me out of the trade. Now, when we got bounced out of that trade, just after 10 o'clock, we were amazed that the sellers that we saw on the tape couldn't get the job done. And we always talk about this. Being a day trader, a successful trader knows that consistency is key. If I consistently watch this chart, I'm going to pick up on tendencies. I'm going to pick up on things that normally happen. I use the analogy of a bus, right? If I went and grabbed the bus every day at 7 o'clock, and today when I'm waiting at the bus stop, the bus doesn't show up, it's different. And therefore, I start to think as a trader, how could I capitalize on this? What might be different out there? Is the bus broken down? Is the bus, is there an accident somewhere? The bus is stuck in traffic? Am I late? Right? Maybe my clock's wrong. Did I miss daylight savings time? See where I'm getting at this? So what should have happened at the highs didn't happen. We got a little bit of profit out of it. But again, how many times have you seen us take that short off the highs and it comes all the way back down to those lows? Very, very often. So that was initially a big clue for us to then look to get long. Now we have an inflection point where the low was. Now when I break back above that low, that was support, becomes resistance, back to support. And again, what should have happened didn't happen. The sellers did not push it all the way lower. And because of that now, we get long. Now we can go in and draw that new trend line. And now we have, with that new lower low, now we have a new wedge to look at. Now we put ourselves in a time, though, now we're back at the highs of the wedge. We sold it one more time. So you're going to see here that we had the initial short trade on crude, sell the highs of the wedge. Sellers didn't make it happen, so we bought it. Goes back to the highs, tried to sell it again. And of course, at this point in the morning, now we've got inventories released. The inventory number today was higher inventories, lower demand. That is bearish across the board. So we immediately see the news today at 11 o'clock on a Thursday. It's outside of its normal time because of the holiday. We immediately now think it's time to get short after that news comes out. And I'm trying to sell the highs of this wedge right now, trying to get the price to head all the way down. For the second time now today, what should have happened didn't happen. And this now reminds me that, boy, I might want to go to lunch here, come back in a half an hour, take a look again and see where we are. Because for the second time today now, we're unable to get these sellers to push those lows off the highs. And that's a big, big bullish clue. The problem, though, of course, with buying right now is look at the last candlestick we saw. Big doji, major divergence. All right, we know we have an ABCD pattern up there, but boy, this is a difficult trade to feel confident taking long right now. So crude oil really made it difficult on us today, which is a little bit uncharacteristic of crude. Usually this will make it pretty easy on us, especially on an inventory day like this. So a good day today, challenging day. As you can see here right now, we had about 65 ticks of profit. We will look for a long trade here on crude this afternoon, or you know what's going to happen. If it fails to go higher, we're probably going to see the bottom drop out of this on crude. On the euro this morning, we're waiting for a pullback right now. The dollar was bearish, and right now you're waiting for a wave pattern long so that we can buy and keep this price rising on the euro. Don't forget, if the euro fails, we will sell that euro and bring it right back below the previous high of day. So that wave pattern setting up on the euro right now, it's a bullish wave pattern. However, we are going to look for a wave failure. And don't forget, the dollar correlation is very strong on that euro. And the dollar right now is rising. So wait for that dollar to finish its move higher, wait for it to head back to the lows, and then look to buy the euro. It's a 21 wave pattern long on the euro. And then as we speak here right now on the Russell, we are looking for a Russell wave pattern. The Russell is in almost identical situation to the euro. We've already broken out. It was so slow here early this morning. We were sitting here sideways just above the previous high of day. And we were wondering, are we going to get a new higher high, then a pullback for a wave up at the top of that wedge? Or, just like we talked about on the euro, will we be able to mark up this swing low? There's my previous high of day. And will this thing, whoop, slip and come right back down, and we'll try to get this thing all the way back down to the previous low of day. Trading ranges, fake out breakouts, right? These are the strategies we use today. We found short-term trading ranges. When the price broke out, we either looked for a wave pattern to trigger long or the failure to trigger short. Then, of course, you've got the gold. Gold was actually one of my bigger winning trades today. You can see we did have a winning trade on gold. I'm sorry, not the bigger one. We did about 20 ticks on gold today. Really this is one that really kind of left us with a sour taste in our mouth there, because you can see we had the bull channel, the bull wedge. Now, step number one, we always talk about this, right? We got 3 steps to our success. Identify the price structure, find the pattern, and then execute the trade. Well, the structure we saw here was a price wedge. Now, we talked about this today in real time. It's a bull wedge. It's a bull wedge because of the bullish channel. So the bull wedge, what does that price structure tell me? The bullish wedge structure tells me the highest percentage trade is to buy at the lows of the wedge. The price wedge as a whole, though, forget about bullish or bearish. A price wedge always says to buy the lows, sell the highs, avoid the middle. So we find ourselves here now on gold about 5 minutes after we identified that wedge by finding that new swing high. High to high gives me the wedge. Price went up and falls back down. We got short at the highs, 8 range, 2-step pattern. And again, this is one of those trades where could have easily been a 60 or 70 tick winner. On a normal day of price action, it probably would have been. But today, we had to suffer through some sloppy price action. Not the end of the world. Definitely not going to keep us off our game for tomorrow, for Friday. We're happy to take our 60 some odd ticks out of the market today and live to see another day today. Once again, and as always, I want to thank everybody for coming out and joining us as an advanced member. I look forward to sharing all of our tools and resources with you as a member, and really a fantastic day of learning patience and discipline. We planned our trades, we traded our plan, and that's all we can do. We'll be back here again tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. The morning prep goes up. On the blog, 8 a.m. we open up the trade room. My name is Joseph, and thank you once again for coming in and joining me today.